Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. All praise is due to Allah. We praise Him. We seek His aid, His guidance, His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the evil actions and evil consequences of our bad deeds. Whomever Allah guides, nobody can misguide him. And whomever Allah misguides, nobody can guide him. I testify openly and I bear witness that there is no God worthy of worship except Allah alone, having no partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad is his slave, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and last messenger. To proceed today, we have very important class in the Qira'aat or Tajweed, or before reciting the Quran, from the book of the 10 authentic Qira'aat for the author or the translator, Fatima Al-Ibiyari. The basic rules of Tajweed, the Tajweed of Al-Makharij. After Al-Makharij, we're going to take As-Sifat of the Arabic letters. Now, nowadays we see the people are teaching Al-Qaida Al-Nuraniyah. Here is the alphabetical letters. Everybody knows them, of course. Is Qaida Al-Nuraniyah enough to teach you Al-Makharij was-Sifat and the qualities, and will let you pronounce the Arabic letters good, accurately, huh? Or we need to learn about Al-Makharij was-Sifat. Al-Qaida Al-Nuraniyah is excellent aid to the student of ordinary modern Arabic, but it doesn't give the accuracy required for Tajweed. As a supplement to audio vocal training, Tajweed students or studies include both pinpointing the makharij or articulation points of each letter, whose plural is makharij, and defining certain characteristics or qualities called sifat of each letter, which distinguish it from other sounds. Means to pronounce the right letter, you have to know where this letter comes from, pointing it, or where its makhraj or articulation point, and what the qualities makes it different from other letters, especially those which come from the same makhraj. We talk about makharij. All the letters are emitted from the vocal cords and up. Nothing is emitted from the chest. It goes from the vocal cords and up. It goes to the throat, the tongue, the lips, and so on, but not under the chest. There's nothing there. There's no voice comes from the stomach, for example. In the human body, the area of speech is divided into 5 main sections, which are makharij. The main 5 makharij are: number 1, al-jawf. What mean al-jawf? The interior of the mouth and the throat, empty place. Al-halq, the throat. Al-lisan, the tongue. Al-shafatan, the 2 lips. Al-khayshum, the nasal passage. I want to pay your attention to something. Do you see here jim, ha, kha? The same sequence of alif, ba, ta, tha. Huh? The same sequence, right? We have jim, ha, kha. This one of the things I want to pay your attention to. The second thing that we're gonna keep aside, the first one and last one. We concentrate on the other 3 ones. Al-jawf is just empty place, huh? It's a makhraj or extended place for the extended letters for the حروف المد. And the last one, الخيشوم, the nasal passage, is for the غنة, which is accompanying or quality accompanying the noon and the meme. This means we could concentrate, even we know that there are 5 main makharij, but we can concentrate on the only 3. And these 3 important makharij, they are makharij for يعني they're gonna be divided into subsections, 17 makhraj again. These are further subdivided into a total of 17 subsections, which are the actual points of articulation. They are also they are as follows, along with the letters which are formed in the in each makhraj. Now we know that we have 5 main makharij. We're gonna keep the first one and last one because it's just empty place, huh? And they are not that very important, but we're gonna study them also. But for you to concentrate on al-halq, al-lisan, al-shafatan, the throat, the tongue, and the lips, 2 lips. Right. Now these 5 main makharij, they are divided or subdivided into a 17 subsections. We're gonna start with al-jawf. As we said before, consists of the empty space in the mouth and throat for the letters of mad. The interior is one makhraj in itself, from which emerge the vowel sounds of alif. The alif always preceded by fatha. The waw, pronounced oo, means preceded by dhamma. And ya, preceded by kasra, will be pronounced as e. This makhraj is an estimated and or approximate one. تقديري, while all others are true or actual حقيقي ones, because they apply to consonant sounds and can be pinpointed more accurately. The sound of the mad letters extends without any obstruction. As you can see, empty place. If you say laha, nothing can stop you except if the air finishes. Then you're gonna stop. These letters, airy letters, comes from the jawf, which is empty place, and ends when the air ends. We call it حروف العلة or حروف المد. Extension letters, you could elongate it until the air stops. The sound of the mad letters extends without any obstructions. And where this sound come from? Vibration of the vocal cords. Where the vocal cords? Here. Here. And then you say la, li, lu. Vibration of the vocal cords produces the sound of the mad letters. It's better to write the alif between the waw and the ya because the alif is just sakin. You can't pronounce the sakin alif. But you can pronounce the hamza, but not the second alif. The second alif is just a mad letter. Then we could say y instead of you can't pronounce it. Type. We're going to talk about the vibration of the vocal cords produces the sound of the mad letters in conjunction with different positions of the tongue. This means the 3 mad letters come from the same place, same space, and also they have the same صفات. All of them, we're gonna take the صفات next time. يعني sharing the same صفات, but how can we differentiate in the voice of the sound of every letter of them if they are from the same place, same space, and together, no obstruction, and come from vibration of the vocal cord? We have to have something different. We have the position of the tongue, or how the tongue look like for every one of them will be different. Okay, how? For the alif, the tongue is relaxed, laying down. For the ya, the middle of the tongue is raised. In the waw, the end of the tongue is raised. طيب, why we call it حروف علة or disease letter or illness letters? Or because if you have 2 second letters meet between two words, you're gonna drop the first second mad letter. If the first second is mad letter, you're gonna drop it. This number one. Number two, if you have jazm, this one of the Arabic rules, and these letters included in any present tense, you're gonna get rid of these letters also. حذف حرف العلة, we're gonna get rid of these letters. This why we call it يعني weak letters, يعني get rid of it easy. The alif follows the تفخيم or the ترقيق of the preceding letters. طيب. Now again, here the الجوف is the empty place or space for the 3 mad letters, and we have the alif. In the alif, as you can see, the tongue is relaxing, is not raised, it is not raised, and the voice comes without any obstructions. يعني لا. طيب, what about the wow? Imagine that the wow, you have to start with the circle, at the beginning or at the end, and then take the line of the wow, the wow. Then remember, at the end you have to raise the tongue. At the end has to be raised, and then the sound goes down a little bit. For the ya, the opposite. The middle of the tongue is up. It comes from the middle of the tongue. This means for the alif, the sound goes up. The sound goes up. La, ba. For the wow, goes in front of you because you need the lips to be rounded to pronounce the right wow. And for the ya, the sound goes down. E, B. Type. We have common mistakes while pronouncing the alif. The alif is an important letter. We said it's preceded always by fatha, but remember to open the alif very good inside your mouth, inside, not outside. Don't open the lips very wide. No, we are talking about the alif has to stand inside your mouth very good. Otherwise, you will have imala or taqleel. Means the voice or the sound of the alif will tend to the waw or the ya. The mouth is not opened wide enough. This one of the mistakes. Some people, they tend to read without making any effort. You find their lips are not moving right, and from inside, between the two jaws is not open wide. Okay, mixing the sound of alif with the sound of ya or waw, this is what we are saying will be the result of not opening the mouth from inside wide enough. And also some people make تفخيم instead of ترقيق of the alif, ترقيق or تفخيم in the wrong place. Like you, for example, you have the word تلاق يوم التلاق. Here I have ألف with ترقيق. What about طلاق طلاق طلاق. The طلاق this for ورش. طيب. Also some people give غنة nasalizing the sound of the alif. And this is wrong also. Or end the alif with or any one of the mad letters with hamza, and this also wrong. If I say alima, do you see I closed the vocal cords? I suppose not to close them, they are vibrating to give me the sound of the mad. But if I close it, I get the hamza at the end of the letters. Some people have this hamza and they are not able to get rid of it. طيب. You have to pay attention to these mistakes and try to pronounce the letters the right way. Now we finished the jawf. Moving forward to al-halq. Al-halq means the throat. We have the letters which emerge from the throat, 6 letters. You know them: hamza, ha, ainun, ha, ghainun, kha. They start from the bottom. أقصى الحلق, يعني all the way at the end, they measure the distance from the mouth. أقصى means the furthest place, deepest part of the throat, the area of the vocal cords. What will come here? Hamza and the ha. If you go up more at the alveolar, you find ainun ha without dots. You go more up, close to the end of the tongue, you find ghainun kha. طيب, we call the farthest or deepest place of the throat, the middle one, وسط الحلق, alveolar place, and the أدنى الحلق, the closest place to the mouth or part. طيب. Now we know we have 3 مخرج but 6 letters. A throat section contains 3 مخارج for 6 letters. أقصى الحلق, the deepest part of the throat, is the مخرج of the hamza, glottal stop, distinct in English at the beginning of words that start with vowels such as eight. You pronounce hamza with kasra if you say eight, or eat, or out. You are pronouncing hamza now. It is a true written consonant in Arabic and must be pronounced clearly. Some people tend to make it soft. This means they are not pressing on the makhraj. If I say, instead of I say li alla, I say li alla. Now I didn't pronounce on the makhraj at all. I have to press on the makhraj to get strong hamza. Li alla. Must be pronounced clearly, whether it occurs at the beginning, middle, or end of a word. The makhraj is closed completely, means it's harf shadid. No air يعني is leaking there. From this section of the throat, also but slightly higher, emerges the ha. Hamza, ha, both come from the same place, but there is a little bit difference in the vocal cords. The vocal cords for the ha must come close to each other for the correct sound of ha. Proximity of the cords produces a strong ha. طيب. This one will give me the hamza, no air is coming out, means the cords are close to each other. يعني sticking to each other. This will be the hamza. It's strong and deep letter. It needs a little bit effort to pronounce it the right way. After this, we have the hamza which has حركة, and then we open a little bit, and for the ha, the chords are close to each other to make the sound of the ha. وسط الحلق, the middle of the throat is the مخرج of the عين, and just above it ha. Ha is a sharper ha. The alveolar approaches the back of the throat in عين, is a little bit deep, مثلا بعينها, which it while it is further in the ha, yeah. This why pronouncing ha is easier than عين or ha. If you go up more, أدنى الحلق, the nearest uppermost part of the throat to the mouth, is the مخرج of the غين and خا. The مخرج is open here for the غين and خا. The extra pressure here makes a snoring sound. Means if you pronounce مخرجها يخرج, you don't say يخ. This extra pressure will make the snoring sound. This is not the sound of the kha. This extra, this is wrong sound. The sound is a little bit softer. يخرج يخرج يخرج, softer a little bit. طيب, we done with الجوف and الحلق, the throat. Now we're moving to the tongue. The tongue contains 10 مخارج for 18 letters. We have the same parts of the tongue also. Of course, this is sticking to the throat, and this is the uppermost or the farthest place or deepest place or part to the mouth. And here the middle one was أقصى اللسان, وسط اللسان, طرف اللسان, رأس اللسان. And also we have at that side حافة اللسان. حافة means the end, the sides of the edge of the tongue. طيب, أدنى means the closest one to the lips. Here أدنى. أدنى including طرف اللسان, the tip and the top end part. How many letters we have from the tongue? We have 18 letters. 10 مخارج for 18 letters. If we start at the end, we will have قاف and كاف, these 2 letters. And then this at أقصى اللسان. In the middle, وسط اللسان, we will have, if you remember the word جيش means army. جيم ياء شين will be in the middle. Now we have 2 and 3 will be 5. Okay, if we go to the edge, we have ضاد and لام. Now we have 7. And then rah and noon at the beginning here. We have 9. But then we have 3 and 3 and 3. 9 and 9 will be 18. What then 3 and 3 and 3? Dal, te, ta. And then put dots. The dal will be zal. The te will be the. The ta will be the. And then we have za, sin, sad. Easy to remember, inshallah. It's very easy, inshallah. I'm going to take them now in details. أقصى اللسان, the farthest part of the tongue, the مخرج of the قاف. You see at the end of the tongue, we have قاف. The farthest part of the tongue next to the throat, along with the corresponding, what corresponds it from the roof of the mouth, the soft palate. The cough comes from the soft palate. But the cough itself شديدة. The مخرج of the calf is a little bit further and go front towards the lips. Will be the soft palate or mixing between soft and hard. The furthest part of the tongue along with the what corresponds it from the roof of the mouth, hard palate. The middle of the tongue with what corresponds to it from the roof of the mouth is the makhraj or makharij of 3 letters, jim, ya, and shin, jaish. You remember the word jaish? Jim, ya, shin. Okay, that not maddiya. The ya is not maddiya because we just said the ya maddiya comes from the jawf, the first makhraj. But this ya is not maddiya. When it begins a syllable as the consonant ya, the middle of the tongue is raised and the makhraj is tightened. Here is the ya, the middle of the tongue. It's not maddiya. Here is the sheen is after it and the jim is after it. The edges of the tongue, we have dad. We always notice the letter which has استعلاء or high elevation. In the middle, you find this goes down, and you find the alveolar goes all the way at the back. This will make the sound here trapped and make إطباق or استعلاء, strong letter, thick letter. The edges of the tongue, one or both. Some people get the dot from one edge, some people get it from 2 edges. Whatever is easy for you. One or both edges of the tongue, along with the upper molar is the makhraj of dot. It means it comes from the back of your teeth until the middle. The sound of a vowel dot is emitted towards the sides and not the front. The trapped air increases here, increases and is pushed forward in the makhraj. This what make istitala or extended sound of the dad. Rakhawa and istitala. Dad has istitala in the makhraj itself. Press the edge or edges until it touches the front gums. Because the tongue blocks the sound's way, it must go around and travel through the sides of the tongue, more often on the left side. This is the makhraj of dad. Now, if we go to the lam, the rest of the side of the tongue or the edge, from the back, dad, from the front, lam. The side of the tongue, the makhraj of lam, from K9 to K9, front, but edges also. You see the one which has tafkhim has like this, and this goes to the back. The proximal nearest between the edge of tongue and gums of the upper front molars, K9 and incisors, is the makhraj of lam. The one has tafkhim has I don't know what's in English. مقعرة. Curved one here, this curve. Okay, and the stricting the throat. And this one has tarqiq, it doesn't have the same troubles. Fine. The tip of the tongue, we're going to more letters, the noon and the ra. Elevated from the back of the tongue or the end of the tongue for the tafkhim or isti'la. when we say Allah, for the lam only has one state for اسم الله only to make تفخيم. The rest of lam has ترقيق. طيب, now we are talking about the nun and ra at the tip of the tongue, between the tip of the tongue and the gums of the two upper central incisors is the makhraj of the noon. It is accompanied with a complementary sound coming from the nose. غنة is a quality of noon. Why this happened to the noon? Because if you see the tongue here is blocking the way of the air, then the air will find another way, will come back from here, comes from the nose. You see the tongue, the tip of tongue is blocking the air passage. This means the noon will not come all of it. Part of it will go back, come from the nose. This is why the noon has two makhrajes, two makharij, one from the mouth, one from the nose, which is the nasal sound for the ghunna. The meme same, but the meme comes from the mouth. Has ghunna, يعني I mean has ghunna. Now for the ra, here is the ra mufakhama, which has tafkhim, as I told you, concave or what I said before, curved, yeah, curved position and raising the end of the tongue, and this one strict goes all the way at the back, make pronounce thick letter. For the ra, we have to leave small space here to pronounce the right ra. If you make it bigger, you will have takrir, and repeating the ra. If you make it smaller, you will have like the people who don't know how to pronounce the ra. يعني they pronounce a little bit like this. It's not ra. طيب, we have to adjust it. Between the upper part of the tip of the tongue and the gums of the two upper central incisors emerges the letter ra. Note, in general, the heaviness is accompanied by curving the middle of the tongue and constriction in the throat. The alveola will go back. This will make tafkhim, thick voice. If the tip of the tongue is far from the gums, the sound of ra is repeated, unclear and repetitive. If the tip of the tongue touches the gums, leaving a small opening in the middle, then this is the right sound of the ra. You have to leave a little bit. If the tip of the tongue blocks the gums without leaving a small opening in the middle, we said this is wrong. Ra will be repeated wrong, please, to pronounce the ra. طيب, we done with the ra. We have three letters now, dal, te, and ta. Between the tip, including a portion of the upper surface of the tongue and the roots of the two upper central incisors. The root, it's not clear. You see the root here? The root is the makhraj of ta, dal, and te. And if you put dot, fa, ذال, ظا. And then we have za, sin, sa. 3. The tip of the tongue near the inner plates of the upper central incisors is the makhraj of sad, sin, and za. We have safir, whistling. This, when you hit here and the air hits here, this will make the sound of the whistling. The sound of the sad passes between the upper and the lower central incisors, while part of it hits on the upper incisors. Notice this for the sad, because the sad has استعلاء, يعني تفخيم and إطباق. Notice that the tip of the tongue touches the top part, the blades of the lower incisors. A common mistake that occurs while pronouncing the sod is using the lips. And not only the sod, most of the tafkhim letters, ta or any other letters, you find the people when they pronounce it, they collect the lips. They thinking this will help to make the itbaq and tafkhim extra thickness, but this is wrong. This common mistake. Huh? Using the lips for the letters of elevation or thickness, no. Because it leads to mixing the sound of dhamma with dhamma or with ishmam. Yani if you're collecting your lips, sod, do you hear a little bit of dhamma? Sod, huh? To, I'm collecting my lips. This make ishmam or give dhamma for the sound. You can't see me, but you could hear it. You could hear it, that I'm collecting my lips. And this is wrong because the elevation or thickness comes from inside the mouth. We told you, by raising the end of the tongue and making that curving of the middle of the tongue and constriction here with the alveolar to go back in the throat. This the make the tafkhim, not what collecting lips. No. The tafkhim of sod or va, raising the back of the tongue and the downward curving of its middle while narrowing the throat with the alveolar. Everything is clear, alhamdulillah. Do you need any more explanation or any question or anything? Yes. Any question? Everything is good, clear, alhamdulillah. Type 1 for me if you are satisfied. Type. If we add the dots, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Type. Va, ذال and fa. Between the upper tip of the tongue and the tips of the two upper incisors is the makhraj of va. Here, the tongue has to be stick a little bit. For the fa is more than the va, more than the va. Because va needs more itbaq. Itbaq and isti'la. Elevation. But for the fa, air goes with it. It has rakhawa. Between the upper tip of the tongue and the tip of the two upper incisors is the makhraj of dha, dhal, and fa. It is incorrect to pull the tongue backward or push it forward further. Try to adjust it a little bit. You want to hear sad one more time? Will be sad, sa, huh? So. Do you hear the second one? I collect my lips. This is wrong. Sad. Sad. Type. This is the right one, which I said now. If we go to the lips, the last makhraj. From the lips come 4 letters, striking or smacking the two lips is the makhraj of ba. Alhamdulillah. Lahab, b, b, ab, ab, ab. The resting tongue has no function in here. Tapping, the first one smacking or striking for the ba. For the meme, tapping, yani a little bit lighter. The two lips is the makhraj of the meme. If you imagine the ba for baba, of course baba in Arabic, but for English we say papa. and meme for mama. The ba stronger, papa is stronger than mama, right? Muscles. It is accompanied with a ghunna, the meme, a complementary sound coming from the nose as a quality belonging to the letters noon and meme. Between the two lips is the makhraj of the consonant waw. Now we have ba, meme, waw between the two lips. One comes from smacking or striking. One comes from tapping. One comes from rounding the lips. The waw. Here the waw while rounding the lips and raising the back. We remember this in the beginning of the tongue when we were talking about the waw maddiya. Same waw here. Hits the waw. No, hits, this is extra word, I think. Sometimes when I push the pictures, which as you can see, these pictures sometimes jumps right or left, or I lose one of the lines or something. Yani forgive me for my unmentioned, unintentional mistakes. Yani. Sometimes while I'm doing something, this happening. Inshallah, we try to correct next time, inshallah. But the waw serves two functions. Of course, like the ya, we have ya maddiya and ya not maddiya. Also, we have waw maddiya, waw not maddiya. The waw serves two functions while rounding the lips as a consonant and as dhamma, or the extension or lengthening as the sounds of the letter of mad. Which is which? Which one? They said when you pronounce the waw is not maddiya, you press more on the lips. And when you, like if you say atawuz zakat, atawuz zakat, huh? How we pronounce the waw now? You find yourself pressing on the lips. atawuz zakat, woo, huh? Right? أقاموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة. طيب. For the maddiya one, we press on the chord, vocal cord, not on the lips. Like قالوا, little bit on the lips, but more pressure on the chords. طيب. This, I think, is an opinion. Pressing on the lips is more than in the waw of mad. Waw of mad, vocal cords. Type. We have other differences. The waw maddiya always preceded by dhamma, right? It's a second preceded by dhamma. But for the other waw, it could be preceded by fatha or where? I want examples here. I don't know. Left it someplace. I don't know where I wrote it. طيب, using the back part of the tongue while rounding the lips, not circling, rounding the lips. This واو غير المادية. This is the back. I want to pay your attention to something in the Arabic grammar. We don't say al-غير. We don't say al-غير. You can say al for غير. But you say al for the following word, not for غير. غير always without al. الواو غير المادية، not الغير مادية، wrong. غير المادية ها. طيب now we have the fa and the meme, the rest of the lips letters. Between the edge or tips of the upper incisors and the interior of the lower lip is the makhraj of the fa. The fa, you find your tongue hits in the upper, the lower lip, interior of the lower lip, which is wet. You know how to say F. F. You find your tongue is hitting the lower lip from inside. طيب we're done with this. Now if you go to the nasal passage, as we said in the beginning, الجوف, now الخيشوم. خيشوم, which like the interior is a single مخرج, مخرج of غنة. غنة is not a letter, but a quality belonging to the letter nun and mim. A sound coming from the nose in which the tongue has no part. They said this is like the female غزالة. What mean غزالة? Deer. The female deer, if her child is lost, will make like. طيب. It will be dealt with further in section of nun and mim. In order to feel the makharij, يعني in the صفات part إن شاء الله, of a given letter, pronounce the letter with sukun preceded by hams. Like if you like to say sad, say as, qaf, say aq, and so on. Ad, ab, ab. طيب, here a noon and the meme, there's no any noon or meme without غنة. But sometimes it's clear and sometimes it's hidden a little bit. According to the noon, if it has vowel or shadda or something, or sakin, or ikhfa, or idgham. Al-Ghunna is a quality of noon or meme and meme. Its makhraj, or it emerges from the nose, while the flow of sound is blocked in the mouth by the tongue in the noon and by the lips in the meme. When noon or meme is doubled, as indicated by a shadda, the ghunna is held for 2 counts equal to the length of a long vowel, as illustrated in the words inna or thumma, عما يتساءلون, وأنا لما سمعنا الهدى من الجنة والناس. You keep your tongue in the makhraj and push the air in the nose. يا أيها المزمل. Ghunna also occurs in other circumstances which will be dealt with under the rules of noon and meme when we take the sifat. We're done with the class. Any question? Is a very good question, and we mentioned that before, that if you don't leave little bit of the alhamdulillah clear. طيب, space of the ra will be either repeated, either will not come the right ra. We will have the circle this to show us. here. You see small, very small place or empty place for the air to come out. You could hear the ra by this way. Ar-Rahmah. If I say ar, by this way, I took my tongue back a little bit. This is what makes the sound of ra is not right sound. This is what you are asking about. Huh? Just push your tongue a little bit front. Inshallah, we'll get the right ra. If you push more front, will be repeated. R, R, repeat it. We don't want to repeat it. And we don't want to hear the ra, which look like yeah. R. This is not the ra. Hmm? This means I push the tongue a little bit. Front, inshallah, you will hear the right sound of the ra. And I have some students here, you could communicate with them. They correct your recitation until you pronounce the right ra. And also I take care of you, inshallah, after them. Any more questions? Okay, alhamdulillah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.